All right, good morning. Here in this unit, we are going to talk about 30, 60, 90 triangles. So in the last unit, we talked about 45, 45, 90 triangles, okay? And then we have another special right triangle known as a 30, 60, 90, and those are the measurement of the legs, okay? So in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, there are constants that go on the side length, just like in a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So if we remember in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, our angle measures were 45 degrees, and 90s. And because the 45 degrees were congruent, that means the side lengths, the legs of this triangle were congruent, and then the side, the hypotenuse that is across from the 90-degree angle is whatever the legs were times the square root of 2, which made it just a tiny bit bigger, okay, because the square root of 2 is approximately 1.41, yada, 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 okay? So in a 30, 60, 90, things change a little bit, okay? Because we have 3 different measures of angles, that means our side lengths are going to be different, okay? So the side length that goes across from 30, if we give that the value of x, meaning whatever x is, that's the value. And then we have the 60. So the side length across from the 60-degree angle would be whatever the x is times the square root of 3. Okay? And then the side length, that the hypotenuse has a value of 2 times x. Okay, so whatever this leg is, the leg across from 30.
Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. That bell was not to dismiss you to class. School day's not begin.
All right, and then the 2x will always go across from the 90-degree angle, and then last but not least, the 60 will go across from the x times the square root of 3. So same thing, across from the 30 will always be x. Across from the bigger angle will be x times the square root of 3. And then the hypotenuse will be labeled with 2 times x. So I'm going to do an example of each, okay? So find the value of missing sides in each following 30, 60, 90 triangles. Okay, so it gives us the value of the hypotenuse. Well, the hypotenuse is always labeled with 2x. The side goes across from the 60, x times the square root of 3, and then obviously this is left over to be 30, so this is x. Okay, so because the given and the 2x are in the same area, it's 2x equals 14. So when given the hypotenuse, and we want to find the value of the given hypotenuse. So when it's given the hypotenuse, we need to divide by 2 to get the value of the x, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to solve for x here. So we're going to divide by 2. So x equals 7. So in order to find the other side length, so like mn, so mn is just the value of x, so that means it's 7. Okay, and then lm is x times the square root of 3. So it's just 7 times the square root of 3. All right. So on example 2, it gives you the side length across from 30. Well, the constant that goes across from 30 is just x. So when given, and I like to call that the shorter leg, you just plug in x. So this means that x equals 3. So the side length that goes across from 60 has a constant of whatever that shorter leg is times the square root of 3. So that means that lm is 3 times the square root of 3. And the constant that goes across from NL, which is the hypotenuse, is 2 times x. So then it's just 2 times 3, which is 6. All right, last but not least, we have this example right here. It gives us the value across from the 60, which has an x times the square root of 3 constant, and this is also known as the longer leg. Okay, all right, well, this means that x times the square root of 3 equals 8. So when given the longer leg, we need to divide by the square root of 3 in order to find the value of x. Because when we have x, we can find anything. Okay? So we need to divide by the square root of 3. And x equals 8 divided by the square root of 3. And that's the value of x everywhere. Okay? So just like this 30-degree angle has a value of just x. Remember, that's that constant. So that means mn is just 8 divided by the square root of 3. Then the value of the hypotenuse is 2 times whatever x is. So we have 2 times 8 divided by the square root of 3. Well, we can just multiply across, and it ends up being 16 divided by the square root of 3. All right, I know this is quick. I was punched for time. But if you need to slow it down to kind of understand the problems, or if you need me to do more problems, just let me know for those that are quarantined. But maybe I can put up another video of me practicing over more examples. But this is all 3 kinds of examples you will get. So when given the hypotenuse, you'll divide by 2 to find x. When given the shorter leg, just plug in x because you already have x. But when given the longer leg, you're going to divide by the square root of 3. You're going to divide by the square root of 3 to find x. We always want to find x because if we find x, we are one step closer to solving for the value of both sides that are missing. All right, bye.